Okay, so now we are moving into the second half of this series of the 10 disciplines. The last five are what we call the practical disciplines. The the first five, the mindfulness disciplines, are universally applicable to our personal experience. Everybody can use these for how it is that we show up personally. The second five are universally applicable to our relational experiences. And so we want to be clear about what we mean by a relationship. Sometimes when you ask somebody, are you in a relationship? They say no, meaning that they're not in a primary kind of attachment to one other person. But we're all in relationships all the time. We have relationships with the people we meet in the grocery store. We have relationships with people we're driving next to on the highway. So by relationship, we're simply talking about something that we create with one or more other people, which is something that is itself a kind of collective object. It is evidence that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So we're dealing with a relationship not just with the other person. The other person's significant because the other person helps us to construct the relationship. But we want to become able to see the relationship as sort of its own thing. And so we may find ourselves in a relationship with somebody who we deeply love, but we hate the relationship because the relationship is structured in a way that just doesn't work for us. So we want to be able to distinguish between the others and the relationship itself. So these practical disciplines are about the business of healing the relationship, not about changing the other. And this is a really crucial distinction that we understand, that this is not about getting other people to change. It's about transforming the relationship such that it creates more of the qualities that we need for ourselves and thus the relationship needs. Okay? So a fundamental premise here is that healthy relationships are created by healthy people in the relationship. So it is my responsibility in the context of the relationship to be creating what I need such that I get what I need and the relationship has those qualities available for others. There's this huge distinction here between being selfish or self-centered and being centered in ourselves. So this is fundamentally about being a healthy organism, and a healthy organism is one which makes the choices which move it towards what it needs. Now, in the process of these practical disciplines, we're going to be talking about some concepts that are themselves vaguely complex. So we're going to be moving towards discerning a new way of being. That is, how can I show up differently in a way that's actually going to work better for me? And we're going to do this in the context of our most significant relationships. You can see the italics around these words. These are concepts that we're going to talk about. We'll do this by identifying certain persistent patterns of conflict, PPCs, and discovering what it is that we would be creating if we were able to speak the helpful truth. So these are collective, these are sort of the names of various maps that we're going to be working on here. So that we can improve the quality of our relationships with others, we have to notice when they're not working. So this is somewhat analogous to the fact that we have to start by paying attention to what it is that's bothering us. So just as the bothers me log is the first of the personal discipline, the mindfulness disciplines. The sixth discipline, ACE, is in the practical disciplines, paying attention to what it is that's bothering us. So we first of all anticipate and create and evaluate what is the pattern of conflict that we are going to experience here. So ACE is helping us see the pattern and begin to notice whether we are responding to it in a way that is actually moving us towards what we need. Now, there are some patterns that we have initiated, and we want to be sure that we don't continue to create them. We have made choices that were harmful to others, that we regret, and thus we want to be sure that we don't continue to make those same choices. And this is the reason that we do discipline number 7, the statement of accountability. Sometimes in the course of a relationship, we notice that events have arisen that damage the relationship. They are constricted. The events are constructed both by the choices we have made and also the choices that others have made. So to address and to heal in the wake of such choices, we want to invoke discipline number 8, apology and forgiveness. Well, these tools offer us wisdom and guidance, so now we can take on the larger and more routine, persistent patterns of conflict that arise in our most significant relationships. And for this, we use discipline number 9, which we are now calling just conflict. We used to call the framework for creative conflict resolution. And this is a whole series of steps that pull together the process such that we can discern a new way of being. And finally, the capstone here is that we pull it all together with a discipline for repairing the relational system through discipline 10, making durable agreements. And this is the process by which the relational system identifies the conflict, gathers multiple perspectives on what is understood to be the problem, and identifies ways of acting to create what everyone needs. So this, in short, are the 5 practical disciplines, and let's get started.